It's 6:47 a.m. on a Tuesday. Your alarm went off 12 minutes ago. You're already dressed. Coffee is cold because you made it at 5:30 and you forgot to drink it. Your phone in your hand, your script in front of you, and the list of 80 numbers you pulled out last night from a skip tracing tool you're still figuring out how to use. You take a breath, you dial, and ring, ring, ring. Voicemail. And again, you leave the same message you've left 47 times this week. Hi, this is Nitzan. Click. Again. Next number. Ring, ring. Hello. Hi, I'm a local real estate agent. And I was wondering if you thought about click again. Next number. By 11 a.m., you've made 62 calls. Two people said they would think about it. One asked you to never call back again, and the rest didn't even pick up their phone. You check your bank account, it's $2,300. Rent hits in 9 days. That number was $3,100 2 weeks ago. You close the app, you open the script again, and you keep dialing. And somewhere in the back of your head, there is a voice that you can't turn off that asks you the same question you don't want to answer. Is this actually working, or am I just moving? Now, if that question has crossed your mind even once, this video is for you. Because here's what I'm going to show you in the next few minutes. The difference between activity and momentum, why some agents work 12 hours a day and get nowhere, why others work half that and close deals in weeks, and the specific structure that separates the two. This isn't about working harder, you're already working hard. This is about whether your work is taking you somewhere or resetting every Monday. So stay with me. If you're watching this, you're probably in one of two places. Either you're already inside, you got your license, you joined the brokerage, you're doing the work, the calls, the follow ups, the open houses, and something feels off. You can't point to it exactly, but the math isn't mathing, the effort isn't matching the result, or you're standing at the door. You've been watching content like this for weeks, maybe months. You're doing the research, you're trying to figure out how to enter this industry without becoming one of the people who quit. And every video you watch makes you more informed and somehow more frozen. Either way, this video is going to give you something specific. By the end of it, you will understand why most new real estate agents fail, and it's not what you think. You will see the invisible structure, the structure that traps people in effort that doesn't compound, and you will walk away with a framework, three questions that diagnose whether your path is actually taking you somewhere. And I'm not going to tell you to work harder. I'm going to show you why working harder inside the wrong structure is the fastest way to burn out. So let's get into it. First time I tried real estate, I quit in 30 days, not 30 days after struggling, 30 days total. Walked into the biggest brokerage in my city because that's what everyone said and advised me to do. I got a desk, I got the login, I got a speech about generating leads and building your sphere, and then nothing. No inventory, no warm leads, no path, just a phone, a script, and the same advice every new agents get on the phones, knock on doors, do the work. So I did the work. I called, I knocked, I followed up. I did everything they told me to do. And 30 days later, I had zero deals, zero prospects, and a growing certainty that I wasn't cut out for this. So I quit. I told myself it was timing. I told myself I'd come back when I was ready. And then I spent 10 years in sales, motorcycles in the last 4 years that before I came back to the industry, mostly telling myself that the experience was preparation. It wasn't. It was avoidance, wearing the costume of preparation. I was good at sales, sold 27 motorcycles in a month when the average was seven, watched myself bring in 800,000, 10 of revenue and collect a $3,000 paycheck. I knew the money was in real estate. I just couldn't face the industry that I had already crushed me once. So then my son was born 3 months in, and I realized something. I was giving my best hours to someone else's business. And all I had left for my kid was bath time before bed, and that was my fatherhood. So I came back to real estate, but this time I refused to walk in the same door. I asked two questions before I signed. Anywhere. Questions nobody had told me to ask. The answers changed everything for me. 3 weeks later, I made my first deal, about $10,000 in commission, 90 days, five deals, and year one, over $225,000. The same person, same industry, same market, completely different entry. So the difference wasn't me. The difference was whether my work could compound or whether it reset every Monday. So that's what I want to show you today. Look, what nobody tells you about the traditional real estate path is it's not designed to help you succeed. It's designed to filter you out. Think about what happens when you walk into a brokerage the normal way. You pass your exam, you get your license, you're excited, you walk into the biggest office in town, marble lobby, 200 desks, name everyone recognizes, you sign the paperwork, you pay your fees, you get a desk, a CRM login, and a script, and then someone says the words that seal your fate. Go generate leads. That's it. That's the plan. No inventory, no listings to work, no warm leads, no path to your first deal, just you, a phone, and a list of strangers who don't know you, don't trust you, and don't want to sell their house to someone they're never met. So you do what they told you. You cold call, you don't knock, you ask family members if they know anyone thinking about moving. You spend your mornings leaving voicemails. Nobody returns, and your afternoons knocking on doors that don't open. And the part that breaks people, you're not doing nothing. You're working hard, 12 hours a day, 80 calls before lunch, open houses on weekends, follow ups at night. You're doing everything right, and nothing is happening. Week one turns into week two turns into month one turns into month three, and still no deals, still no commission, still no proof that any of these is working. Your savings start to drain. $5,000 becomes $3,000, becomes $1,500. The mortgage doesn't pause. The car payment doesn't care that you're building a business. And the worst part, every Monday feels like day one again because nothing you did last week carried over. The calls didn't stack. The doors you knocked didn't turn into anything. The people who said maybe disappeared, and you're not building, you're running in a place. That's what I called the reset loop. It's not a failure of effort, it's a failure of structure. The system isn't broken by accident, it's broken by design. The brokerage doesn't lose when you quit. They've got more people walking through the door next month. They hemorrhage agents constantly, and they're built to survive it. You're not built to survive it. And the people who tell you to just keep going, they're usually the ones who either got lucky early or forgot what the first 6 months actually felt like. The loop isn't a phase you push through, it's a trap you escape, or it consumes you. Here's where I need to show you something that changed how I understood this entire problem. There's a Harvard Business School professor named Teresa Amabil. She spent years studying what actually drives motivation in the workplace. Her team analyzed nearly 12,000 daily diary uh, entries from hundreds of workers across seven different companies. They weren't studying real estate, they weren't studying agents, they were studying motivation itself. And what they found was this: the single biggest factor in whether someone stays motivated isn't talent. It isn't discipline, by the way. It isn't pay. It's making visible progress on meaningful work. And she called it the progress principle. But the part that matters most, the part nobody talks about, is the absence of progress is 2 to 3 times more destructive to motivation than progress is positive. Now, read it again. It's not just that progress helps, it's that the lack of progress actively destroys you. Faster than progress builds you up. Every day without a win does real psychological damage. Now, apply that to a new real estate agent who walked into a brokerage the traditional way. On day one, no inventory, no listings, no warm leads, just cold calls and the script. Week one, 400 dials, two callbacks, nothing real. Month one, still no deal, still no commission, still no proof. On month two, savings dropping, spouse asking questions you can't answer, starting to wonder if you made a mistake. On month three, the story in your head shifts. It used to be, I'm figuring this out, and now it's maybe I'm not cut out for this. That shift isn't weakness. It's predictable. It's exactly what Harvard's research says will happen when someone operates for months without visible progress. The 87% of new agents who fail in this industry, they don't fail because they are lazy. They don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because the traditional entry path is structurally designed, engineered to produce zero visible progress for the first 3 to 6 months. And according to the research, that's the single most destructive thing you can do to a human being's motivation. The system isn't broken by accident, it's broken by structure. So here's the reframe. You thought the question was, how I work harder? The real question is, does my work compound or reset? You thought that measure of success was effort, hours logged, calls made, doors knocked, but effort inside the wrong structure doesn't build anything. It just burns you out faster. Two agents can work the exact same hours. One is inside this trap every Monday. Their progress disappears. They're hunting from scratch. They have no inventory, no listings to convert, no path that stacks. And the other one is on a compound path. Every week builds on the last. They walked in with access to existing inventory. They're converting, not hunting. Their work from Tuesday is still working for them on Friday. Same hours, same effort, same market, completely different outcome. The difference isn't talent, it isn't hustle, it isn't luck. It's whether the entry was structured for early wins or designed to starve you until you quit. Most agents never ask this question. They assume the path is that path. They assume the brokerage they joined is giving them what they need, and then they spend 6 months wondering why nothing is working. So let me make this concrete. There are two types of new agents who walk into a brokerage. The first type enters the traditional way. They pass the exam, they join the biggest name in town. They get a desk, a login, and a speech about generating leads. On day one, there is no inventory, no listings, no warm leads. So they start from zero with cold calls, door knocks, begin begging family for referrals. And by week one, they make 400 dials, two callbacks. Week two, they follow up on these two callbacks. Both go nowhere. And on week three, they start over. New list, same script, same result. Month one ends, no deal. Month two, they are still hunting, still starting from scratch every Monday. By month three, the story in their head has shifted. It used to be, I'm building something. Now it's maybe this isn't for me. I'm getting to it, don't worry. By month four, if they make it that far, they are done. Not because they stopped working, because the work never stacked. That's the loop agent. Now, the second type, they enter differently. Before they signed anywhere, they asked questions, not what's the split. Everyone asks that. They ask, what happens to new agent after they join? What do I have access to on day one? What inventory exists that I can work, not hunt from week one? They walked in with a structured proposal, not asking for a desk, offering to solve a problem the brokerage already has because they entered that way. Day one looked different. They had listings to work, inventory to convert, sellers who were already in motion. Week one, real conversations with people who actually wanted to sell. Week two, follow ups that led somewhere. Week three, first deal, same person, same market, same license, completely different structure. That's the compound path agent. The difference is not who they are, it's which door they walked through. Now, one path resets every Monday, the other compounds every week. And so, what nobody tells you, you choose which one you're on before you ever make a call. The entry is the decision. Everything after that is a consequence. I call this the entry diagnostic. Three questions that tell you before you sign anywhere, before you make a single call, whether you're walking into a reset loop or a compound path. These aren't the questions brokerages expect. There are the questions that reveal whether you're about to become one of the 87% or one of the people who actually closes a deal in their first 45 days, 90 days. Here are the three questions. Question one, what inventory exists that I can work, not hunt for on day one? This is the question that separates everything. Most agents walk into a brokerage and ask about training, they ask about splits, they ask about technology. None of that matters if you're hunting from scratch. The question is not what will you teach me? The question is what do I have access to on day one that I can actually convert? So if the answer you will generate your own leads, you're walking into a trap. If the answer is we have inventory, we have listings, we have sellers in motion that you can work from week one, you're looking at a compound path. The difference between these two answers is the difference between closing a deal in month one and quitting in month four. Sit with that for a second. Now, question two, what happens to new agents after they join? Not what happens in orientation, not what training program covers. What actually happens, what happens to people like you, people who just got licensed, people who have no sphere, people who are starting from scratch after they sign. Ask the brokerage to tell you about the last five new agents who joined. Where are they now? How long until their first deal? How many are still there? If they can't answer or if they change the subject, you have your answer. The brokerage isn't hiding something from you. They are showing you, they're showing you something. They don't track what happens to new agents because new agents aren't the point. The point is the top producers, the point is the brand, the point is volume. New agents are replaceable. They know it. They are built for it. This is their business model. The question is whether you're going to walk into a place that's built to support you or built to survive your failure. Question three, does my work from week one still work for me in week four? This is the compound question. Inside the loop, work evaporates. The calls you made Monday are gone by Friday. The doors you knocked don't turn into anything. Every week starts from zero inside a compound path. Work stacks, the listing you worked in week one is still in play in week three. The seller you built in a relationship with becomes a deal and then a referral. So, and then another deal. Ask yourself, does the structure I'm entering let my work stack, or does it force me to restart every Monday? If your effort compounds, you can survive slow months because the foundation is building. If your effort resets every slow week, is crisis because there is nothing underneath you. So these are the three questions. Won't guarantee success, but it will tell you whether you're walking into a structure designed for success or one designed to break you before even you ever get a chance. And now let me tie this back to real stakes. One deal in real estate is $10,000 to $30,000. That's not salary, that's a transaction. One deal can cover your rent for 6 months. One deal can pay off the credit card you ran up while you were building the business, and one deal can change how your spouse look at you when you say you're going back to make calls. And the difference between closing the deal in month one and still chasing it in month six isn't a talent, it's structure. The traditional path, cold calls, door knocking, starting from zero, is designed to delay that first deal as long as possible. Not because the brokerage is evil, because the system was built for a different era. Before AI, before data, before there was any other way. They call it the dinosaur way for a reason. It's a relic. It worked when there were no alternatives, and now there are alternatives, and most agents they never find it out because they sign before they ask the questions. The entry diagnostic changes that, so it forces you to see the structure before you're already inside, and it gives you the language to walk into a brokerage with something other than your hand than your hand out. So not can I have a desk, but here's what I'm looking for and here's what I bring. That's entry positioning. That's reverse entry. That's how you skip the starvation period. That takes most people out. Now save this video. Don't like it, just save it, because 3 weeks from now you're going to be sitting in a brokerage lobby. Someone is going to be telling you about the training program and the CRM and the splits, and you're going to need these three questions, not to be clever, not to impress them, just to protect yourself, to know before you sign whether you're walking into a reset loop or a compound path. So save this, come back to it before you make the decision. So right now there are people inside who made their decision. Some of them are asked these questions. Some of them walked into different brokerages than they would have. Some of them are closer to their first deal than they were 30 days ago. It's small, but it's moving. I can't show you everything here. The conversations, the frameworks, the live sessions where we break down exactly how to have those conversations with the brokerages. But I can tell you this, the people who stopped guessing are the ones who started moving. So, what I want you to do, drop a comment below one of these two options: reset, if you realize you've been in the loop; effort, not compounding every Monday starting from zero; and drop compound if you're building a path where work stacks. I read everyone and I reply, so write it down. Now, here's what comes next. In the next video, I'm going to show you what happens when you actually ask the entry diagnostic questions out loud to a real brokerage, because the thing most brokerages have never been asked these questions. So they are not ready for them. And the way they will respond tells you everything, because you will need to know what to face with. I will show you the three responses you will hear and what each one reveals about whether the brokerage is built to support new agents or built to survive their failure. Subscribe so you don't miss that. And if you want the full picture, not just the surface, I can cover here. So what I want you to do, join the free community. Links is in the bio. It's not here in the description. And inside, I run a live every few weeks where I break down exactly how to close your first deal in 45 days. Not theory, not motivation, the actual structure, the actual questions, the actual path. And the moment you in, look for the pin post, find when the next live is, put it in your calendar. So that's where this conversation continues, because inside the community we walk through the exact how to enter the right way. So you skip the starvation period that takes most people out. You've been standing at the door long enough. The question isn't whether you're ready. The question is whether you're going to walk through the right way, the right one. So I'll see you in the next video.